In this video, I'm gonna break down fat loss in simple, proven steps that's gonna help you burn off all the fat without having to do any fad diets, any endless hours of cardio, or none of that BS. So make sure that you like and subscribe, and let's dive straight into the video. So, I know this might sound really basic to some people, but we need to start at the absolute beginning.
Is our home, the Earth, at the beginning of its existence 4.6 billion years ago.
Okay, obviously I didn't mean that far back in the beginning. So, the first thing that we need to know about is how exactly do we lose weight? And in the simplest way that I could put it, we lose weight when we burn more calories than we consume. Yeah, that's pretty much it. End of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Just kidding, but look, honestly, that is the first principle that we need to keep in our heads. We need to eat less calories or burn more calories every single day. That was an overly simplified way of me teaching you what a calorie deficit is to get things rolling off. And no, I'm not screaming at you. I just have a lot of energy right now. So to get things started off, right, we need to learn or know basic nutrition, macronutrients and your micronutrients. When we think about our macronutrients, think about your protein, your fats, and your carbohydrates. Each one of these macronutrients plays an essential role in your body. So when we talk about protein, proteins are pretty much one of the most important macronutrients out there. What concerns us for fat loss, see, protein is gonna have quite a few benefits for your fat loss journey. Starting out with the fact that protein is gonna have a muscle sparing effect. Meaning, normally when we do cut out calories and we eat less food, our body is gonna try to respond by, instead of losing that fat, it's gonna make you lose all the muscle mass that you have. When this happens, you end up looking skinny fat, as in you're still fat, but you're just a smaller version of yourself. This is the times where people look at you and, like, have you ever seen this when somebody just like loses a lot of weight but don't really add or keep any muscle? They just look sick, like cheekbones and everything. That's the exact look we're trying to avoid. Now, to have this muscle sparing effect is actually very easy. All I want you to do is eat at least 1 gram of protein for every pound that you currently weigh. The benefit of having a high protein diet is that protein is gonna keep you full longer throughout the day. If you're like me, that you're a bigger eater, you're a big back and you like food, having high protein intakes or having a little bit of protein in every meal is gonna help you stay fuller. That way, you're not suffering, you're not hungry, and you don't run the risk of actually cheating on your plan. So when it comes to protein sources, I recommend just having a few different types of sources that you actually enjoy. That way you're never getting bored of it. And then I actually recommend having 2 or 3 sources. That way you don't get bored of your diet like I did. Honestly, in the beginning, in the first 3 years, literally, before I learned how to eat, I was only eating chicken, broccoli, and rice. Every meal for every day for 3 years straight. It worked. But you don't need to be that specific. So if you don't want to be like me, that it came to a point where I would just look at chicken and I would get nauseous, have a few different sources available. So next up are going to be your carbs. Now, I know that sometimes carbs get a bad rep. I often hear people say, oh, you need to cut out your carbs if you want to lose weight. Carbs are the devil, they make you fat. Oh, sugar is bad. No. Don't believe any of that BS, okay? While it is true that eating excess carbohydrates can get you fat, the same is true for anything. If you eat excess carbs, excess fat, excess protein, if you eat too many calories, you're gonna get fat. Now, carbohydrates are essential in your body. Just like I mentioned with protein, there are plenty of options in carbs that actually keep you fuller throughout the day. Think about foods that are high in fibers, your fruits, your vegetables, and these are generally lower in calories, meaning you could pretty much eat these in an unlimited amount, as in literally unlimited, and you're not gonna get fat. You're not gonna gain weight by eating this. When was the last time you heard someone say, hey, I got fat because I ate too much broccoli, salad, I ate too many strawberries, too many oranges? It's not gonna happen. Think about it this way. I usually like to eat fruit for my breakfast, especially during a cut, because let's say strawberries, for example. There's only 150 calories in an entire pound of strawberries. I encourage you, Try eating 2 pounds of strawberries with some Greek yogurt in the morning and tell me how long is that going to keep you full. Because for me, that keeps me pretty full, like for hours. Same thing can be said with our good old friend, fats. Yes, another thing that gets a bad rap are fats, especially since they're higher in calories per gram than protein and carbohydrates are. But again, good healthy fats are essential for your body. Those are your macronutrients. When we talk about micronutrients, these are the actual nutrients that you don't really think about oftentimes, but these are the nutrients that make sure that you're being healthy from the inside out. Now that we briefly talked about your macros and your micros, how do we exactly add all that together and start making a fat loss plan? Well, sports science created a really basic formula to help you know what your overall maintenance calories should be. And that's going to be your current body weights multiplied by 15 and then adding or subtracting about 250 calories to that. Let's just use my numbers when I started as an example, right? So pretty much I was weighing 250 pounds, right? If you get 250 pounds and we multiply that by 15, we get a number that says that it's 3,750 calories. Now, is this formula 100% accurate, foolproof? No. That's why we have these variances of 250 calories plus or minus. All that really means is that for the first 2 or 3 weeks, you're gonna start eating those calories. In my case, 3,750, right? Now, what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna weigh ourselves every single day and see what the heck is going on. Are we actually maintaining weight? Are we gaining weight? Or are we losing weight? So if you're still gaining weight, start tapering down your calories until you see for 2 or 3 weeks, your weight is consistent. It's not going up and it's not going down. You see, that step is crucial because from there, we can actually establish our calorie deficit and start losing all that fat. That's a step that you really don't want to skip here because this is essential to make sure that we're actually, 1, creating a calorie deficit, and 2, that our calorie deficit is large enough to actually lose the weight, but not too large that we're losing weight too fast. What do you mean too fast, Danny? I want to lose all the weight now. You think that. You think that the faster the better, but when it comes to fat loss, you want to kind of take it on a steady course of about 1 pound to 1.5 pounds of fat per week to make sure that, 1, you're actually losing fats and sparing as much muscle mass as possible. That way you're actually toning, that way you're actually getting ripped, you're actually losing fat while preserving all the lean muscle mass that you have. At 250 pounds, my maintenance level was roughly around 3,500 calories. From here, we start actually creating that deficit. We want to create a deficit of around 500 to a max, an absolute max of 750 calories per day. So let's say that you did a 500 calorie deficit. Well, that means that if you're eating 3,500 calories to maintain your weight, you're gonna now be eating 3,000 calories in your attempt to lose fat. And I'm gonna make it so easy for you because I'm gonna show you specifically how much you should be eating. That way it's foolproof, 100% foolproof. So let's start off with your proteins. We mentioned before that protein should be at least 1 gram of protein for every pound that you currently weigh. So 250 grams of protein, right? Every gram of protein has 4 calories. So 250 times 4, that's 1,000 calories out of our 3,000 calorie budget. Hey, we still here? We're all on the same page? Feel free to rewind if you have to in the video. Now, after I determine how many proteins you're gonna need, I like to look at your fats. So the next step will be looking at your fats. What I like to do is get your overall daily calorie intake and multiply that by 20%. So if we get 3,000 calories and we multiply that by 20%, those are 600 calories that should be coming from fats, which is roughly around 66 to 67 grams of fats. Now here comes the easy part. We already know that we're eating 1,000 calories in protein and we're eating 600 calories in fat. That's 1,600 calories, right? We need to eat 3,000 every single day to hit our goal, so we still have 1,400 calories left. As you could play around with this, eat a little bit more protein, a little bit less fat, whatever. But ideally, from this point, those 1,400 calories are gonna come from carbs, which is gonna be roughly 350 grams of carbs. And if we add all this together, we have exactly 3,000 calories per day, which is exactly our calorie deficit goal to lose a pound of fat per week. When it comes to this, try to eat around 4 to 5 meals every single day, and you're gonna be golden. There's absolutely no need for you to be eating every 2 to 3 hours, eating 6, 7, or 8 meals per day. If you want to, you could definitely do so, but that's gonna be more of a personal choice. Same way that if you wanna eat less meals, just try to eat a little bit more per meal. Just make sure that at the end of the day, you're eating these macros and 3,000, or in your case, the amount of calories that you need to hit your goals. At this current step that we're at right now, you're setting yourself up to lose a pound of fat per week.
What did he say?
Per week. And a lot of people may say, well, a pound of fat, that's not a lot. Well, actually, it's 52 pounds of fat per year. And if you want even more fat loss, there's another tip that you can add. Let's say that on top of your 500 calorie deficit, you decided to go for a walk 30 minutes per day, every single day, or at least 5 times a week, right? Well, that's gonna actually help you burn an extra 200 to 300 calories per day, every single day. So effectively, instead of having a 500 calorie deficit, we can say that you have around a 700 to 750 calorie deficit. What I did, I cut off about 400 to 500 calories in food, and then I just made sure that I worked out pretty much every day. Whenever I wasn't hitting the gym as in weights, I was doing cardio. So I was still burning excess calories. Now, if you bump it up to 750 calories per week, you're actually setting yourself up to lose 78 pounds. 78 pounds, almost 80 pounds of fat in a year. And have you not seen my pictures? That's how much weight that I literally lost. I literally lost over 80 pounds of fat in about 13 months. No cap. 80 pounds of fat in about 13 months. The beauty of this is once you do reach your ideal weight, you can still keep on doing your cardio, just add in a little bit of food until you hit your maintenance level. And this entire process is gonna be extremely easy and sustainable for you. How sustainable? Well, I did this 13 years ago. 13 years ago, and I've been able to not only just lose all the weight, but maintain single digit body fat year round for the past 13 years. I kept it off for 13 years without ever suffering from hunger, without ever doing 2, 3, 4, 5 hours of cardio per day. I still have my cheat meals. I take plenty of rest days throughout the week. It is a highly sustainable way of losing weight and maintaining the weight off you. And there you have it. In these simple steps, I guarantee you that if you follow them through, you are gonna lose the weight. There's no way on earth that you're not going to, because again, it's the laws of thermodynamics. Calories in versus calories out. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. I upload plenty of videos trying to help you get to the leanest, healthiest version of you that you could possibly reach. All I ask in return is that if you enjoyed the video, just let me know by hitting a like or leaving a comment down below.